Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. Let's make a start. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunj Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunj Bihari. Jai Gopi Gana Vallabha, Jai Giravardhari, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Giravardhari, Shodhanandana Vrajjana Ranjana, Shodhanandana Vrajjana Ranjana, Yamuna Tiravanachari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Samrupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Satyam Sadvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakharnvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pran Mami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpato Brihescha Kirpa Sindhuvevacha Padidana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo 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 Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmad Bhaktivedanta Swami iti namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mukam Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Grim Yat Kirpatam Ham Vande Shri Gurundin Taranam Paramananda Matam Shitane Shramariyam Tassat Narayan Namaskritya Naram Cheva Naruttamam Devim Sasvit Vyasam Tato Maduriyat Nashta Prashabdish Nityam Bhagavata-Sevayā Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nestaki. Okay, Hare Krishna. So last time in chapter 4 we were saying that detachment is very important. People find it difficult to detach themselves, whether it's from something they eat or their wealth, their families. That doesn't mean you give up your responsibilities, but you just do them in a slightly different consciousness. That's all. You put Krishna in the center as the proprietor of everything. That's all you got to do. You can still do your responsibilities. Very important to be responsible. Like the saintly kings, they were saints and responsible saintly kings. So they're doing all the duties, but with a different consciousness. There's somebody was saying that they're chanting 16 rounds and they're following like the bhakti process, but they have difficulty giving up onion and garlic. So you can imagine that if you have these attachments and they want to know whether they'll still go back to Godhead by having these attachments, Krishna says clearly that you must give up your attachments. Whatever you're attached to, you have to come back and enjoy that or suffer that. Right? So it's important that we're not attached to anything. Although we do the due diligence, we do the necessary, follow the processes, but don't be attached so much that your life depends on it like that. Yeah. So that was the change in the heart, giving up, changing the consciousness. And Parikshit Maharaj, he demonstrated how he just gave up everything, didn't even give a second thought. He gave up everything that was dear to him, everything that was his life. He just gave it up straight away. Not in 7 days, he gave it up straight away. And so, he's considered a Mahatma, and who are very hard to find. And we are all attached to something or other. When we introspect, we can see we are attached to something, and we do find it hard to give these things up. This way, there's 4 regulations. You find in the 4 regulations, there will be something there that we are attached to of those 4 regulations. We can definitely say there is one of those things that I am attached to and I find difficult to give up. And we also mentioned that people follow dharma, artha, kam, moksha, or do they really don't even follow the dharma, artha, kam, moksha? They might follow earth and kam, or dharma, artha and kam, and not looking for moksha. Usually it's earth and kam people are following. They want to earn and enjoy, that's it. And we also mentioned that we should be attached to Krishna unconditionally, and our consciousness should be clear from material desires, and everything belongs to Krishna, not us. So just remember that. Okay, let's continue. So we are on verse 5. Okay. Raju vacha samichinam vacho brahman sarva gyasya tvannagaha tamo vishrayate mayam hare katyatha katham. So Raja Uvacha, the king said, samichinam, perfectly right, vachaha, speeches, Brahman, O learned Brahmana, Sarva, Gyasya, one who knows all, Tav yo anag, without any contamination, Tama, the darkness of ignorance, Vishriyate, gradually disappearing, Maham, unto me, Hare, of the Lord, Katyatha, as you are speaking, and Katham, topics. So Maharaj Parikshit said, O learned Brahman, you know everything because you are without material contamination. Therefore, whatever you have spoken to me appears perfectly right. Your speeches are gradually destroying the darkness of my ignorance, for you are narrating the topics of the Lord. So, Srila Prabhupada explains that practical experience of Maharaj Parikshit is disclosed herein, revealing that transcendental topics of the Lord act like injections when received by the sincere devotee from a person who is perfectly uncontaminated by material tinges. In other words, reception of the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from professional men heard by a Karam Kandiya audience never acts miraculously as stated here. So Srila Prabhupada used the word injections. So injections, they are effective straight away. Like we have medicines. People like say vitamin D. Some people will take tablets. Others will need injections. When the injection is, given to you in your bloodstream, then the effects take place straight away. And these hearing from these pure souls, sincere devotee, they have a lot more effect. Like when we hear from sannyasis, you find that we understand a lot more, because we can see them that yes, what they are saying, they are living it, they are proving it. So we take them more seriously as well, because the grihasthas, although they might be good at giving class, but sometimes you think, well, are you following this? Or you might know the grihastha who's giving the class, you think, well, you don't follow yourself. We should not judge, but the point is that we don't always practice what we preach. Whereas with the sannyasis, we see they're given up everything and they're totally relying on the mercy of the Lord. So they act like an injection that, whatever you're saying, you take notice of what they're saying, more. In other words, reception of the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from professional men heard by Karmakandi audience never acts miraculously as stated here. Devotional hearing of the messages of the Lord is not like hearing ordinary topics. Therefore, the action will be felt by the sincere hearer by experience of the gradual disappearance of ignorance. Yasya deva parabhakti yatha deva tatha guru tasyate katitahi artha prakshante mahatmanah. That's from the Shveta Upanishad 6.23. When a hungry man is given food to eat, what happens? He feels satiation of hunger and the pleasure of dining simultaneously. Thus he doesn't have to ask whether he has been fed or not. The crucial test of hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is that one should get positive enlightenment by such an act. So you should, you notice it. You notice the difference. When a hungry man is given food to eat, he feels his hunger goes away and he's had some pleasure of taking prasad, and also you feel energized after taking, if you're taking food, you feel the energy as well. Your hunger is no more hungry, you had some taste, and your body, the whole body feels more energized. So that is 5. What can we add? When one has firm faith in the spiritual master, then all the purports in the Vedas is revealed. Ignorance is dissipated. So when we talk about sincere devotee, we talk about spiritual master or any Siksha Guru as well. As one is progressing in the path of hearing, naturally the hearing knowledge is educating us. That's relieving ignorance. So you're hearing and then you are following. That's the important thing. So Shravanam and Mananam, Nidhi Dhyasanam. So you follow you hear, you process it, and then you follow it. Then it's worth hearing. Not hearing and then out of the other ear. The hearing should go to your heart and should transform you. That's revealing ignorance. As one progresses, Divya Gyan Hirde Prakashito. This is why we sing that. When the spiritual master give you the Gyan, Divya Gyan Hirde Prakashito. Prakash, so enlightenment to the heart. And within the heart, this knowledge is also revealed as ignorance dissipates. So where there is light, darkness disappears. The darkness of ignorance disappears. When one is sincere and receives knowledge from a bona fide source, then the knowledge has an effect. Right? So we hear from these exalted devotees, they have some effect on us. First, ignorance is destroyed. What's the ignorance? The ignorance that is destroyed is, I am a servant of Krishna, or I am a spirit soul. and I am a servant of Krishna. You want to engage in service. We become free of anarthas, attachment develops to Krishna, and taste develops as well. So all these processes, they take place as we hear and we follow. These things happen. Bhuya eva vitsami bhagwan atam mayaya yetadam sajate vishvam durvibhavyam adishvarahi. So Bhuya again eva also vitsami, I wish to learn Bhagwan, the personal Godhead, Atam, personal, Mayaya, by the energies, Yatha, as idam, this phenomenal world, Sajate, does create, Vishwam, universe, Durvi Bhavyam, inconceivable, Adi Ishvarhi, by the great demigods. I beg to know from you how the personal Godhead, by his personal energies, creates these phenomenal universes as they are, which are inconceivable even to the great demigods. So Maharaj Parikshit, he wants to know more about the Lord and his creation. So he knows that Sukadeva Goswami, he has the knowledge, and he's inquisitive. So in every inquisitive mind, the important question of the creation of the phenomenal world arises. So he has 7 days to live, but he's still interested to know. And therefore, for a personality like Maharaj Parikshit, who wants to know all the activities of the Lord from his spiritual master, such an inquiry is not uncommon. For every unknown thing, we have to learn and inquire from a learned personality. So you can see this katha, it's an amazing scenario, isn't it? There's a king or emperor who's about to die in 7 days, and he's taking in knowledge. Just that makes it more powerful. It adds emotion to the whole. If somebody just goes to guru and wants knowledge, doesn't have the same effect as someone who is so important and is about to die. He is taking knowledge. Just like Arjun is about to kill his relatives, about to fight a Mahabhatal, Mahabharat war, and he is taking knowledge. So it just adds a lot of leverage to the whole katha. For every unknown thing, we have to learn and inquire from a learned personality. The question of creation is also one of such inquiries, to be made to the right person. So my point is that Maharaj Parikshit is asking, so we have to understand that there must be some relevance to it. Why is asking these questions? Must be all relevant, because he doesn't have time to ask the wrong questions. He can only ask the right questions. The spiritual master, therefore, must be one who is sarvagya, as stated herein before. Who is Sarvgana, as stated herein before, in connection with Shukadeva Goswami. Thus, all inquiries on God which are unknown to the disciple may be made from the qualified spiritual master, and here the practical example is set by Maharaj Parikshit. So, thus all inquiries on God which are unknown to the disciple may be made from qualified spiritual master. That's right. Shukadeva Goswami is qualified. It was, however, already known to Maharaj Parikshit that everything we see is born out of the energy of the Lord. Yes, we know that from Bhagavad-Gita. As we have all learned in the very beginning of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Janmadi Asya Yatha. So very first verse explains that as well. So Maharaj Parikshit wanted to know the process of creation. The origin of creation was known to him. Otherwise, he would not have inquired how the personality of Godhead, by its different energies, creates this phenomenal world. So he knows who creates it. He wants to know how. The common man also knows that the creation is made by some creator and is not created automatically. And we only have to look outside and we can see all the trees and the plants and the sky and the sun is shining. There is a method, there's a system to all this that's working. There's a day, there's a night, the day again. We got different seasons. Everything is in order, right? It works in systematic and is cyclic. It's not that just happened and never to be seen again. Everything's very cyclic, and if something is cyclic, then that somebody is controlling it. There has to be somebody who's working this thing, because it's all timed in a timely fashion. It's coming. So. Okay, where are we? The common man also knows that the creation is made by some creator and is not created automatically. So we have no experience in the practical world that a thing is created automatically. Things don't just appear. Foolish people say that the creative energy is independent and acts automatically as electrical energy works. Both the intelligent man knows that even the electrical energy is generated by an expert engineer in the localized powerhouse, and thus the energy is distributed everywhere under the resident engineer's supervision. The Lord's supervision in connection with creation is mentioned even in the Bhagavad-Gita 9:10, and it is clearly said that the material energy is a manifestation of many such energies of supreme Parasya Shakti Videva Shuryate. So common man will think, how do you get electricity? How do you get light? You switch it on. And as far as they know, that you switch it on and the light comes. But it doesn't, how much work's gone into it. There's a powerhouse and there's transformers, and then the electricity is stepped down to come to your house. There's wires, so much going on. So there's a source. It's coming from a source. Similarly, the so-called scholars and philosophers of the world may, by mental speculation, present so many utopian theories about the impersonal creation of the universe. But an intelligent devotee of the Lord, by studying the Bhagavad-Gita, can know that behind the creation is the hand of the Supreme Lord, just as in the generating electrical powerhouse there is a resident engineer. The research scholar finds out the cause and effect of everything, but research scholars as great as Brahma, Shiva, Indra and many other demigods are sometimes bewildered by seeing the wonderful creative energy of the Lord. So what to speak of the tiny mundane scholars dealing in petty things? As there are differences in the living conditions of different planets of the universe, and as one planet is superior to others, the brains of the living entities in those respective planets are also of different categorical values. As stated in the Bhagavad-Gita, one can compare the long duration of life of the inhabitants of the Brahma's planet, which is inconceivable to the inhabitants of this planet Earth, to the categorical value of the brain of Brahmaji, also inconceivable to any great scientist of this planet. And with such high brain power, even Brahmaji has described in his great Samhita as follows. And with such high brain power, even Brahmaji has described in his great Samhita or Brahma Samhita. In the first verse, Ishva Parama Krishna Satyananda Vigraha Anadi Radhir Govinda Sarva Karan Karanam. So there are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagwan, but Krishna is the supreme Bhagwan. Supreme because none can excel him. He is the origin. There's nothing beyond that. He is the supreme person, and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the prime Lord, Govinda, and the cause of all causes. Brahmaji admits Lord Krishna to be the supreme cause of all causes. But persons with tiny brains within this petty planet think of the Lord as one of them. Thus, when the Lord says in the Bhagavad-Gita that He, Lord Krishna, is in all, the speculative philosophers and the mundane wranglers deride Him, and the Lord regretfully says, Avajananti mamuda manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mam bhuta maheshwaram. That's 9.11 Bhagavad-Gita. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. So Brahma and Shiva, and what to speak of other demigods, are bhutas, or powerful created demigods who manage universal affairs, much like ministers appointed by a king. The ministers may be Ishvaras or controllers, but the Supreme Lord is Maheshwar, Maha or Ishvara, or the creator of the controllers even. Persons with a poor fund of knowledge do not know this, and therefore they have the audacity to deride Him, because He comes before us by His causeless mercy, occasionally as a human being. The Lord is not like a human being. He is Satchitananda Vigraha, or the absolute personality of Godhead. And there is no difference between His body and His soul. He is both the power and the powerful, so the energy and the energetic. Maharaj Parikshit didn't ask the spiritual master Shukadeva Goswami to narrate Lord Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. He wanted to hear first about the creation of the Lord. This is the intriguing thing. Everybody would want to hear about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. Most sweetest pastimes, most sweetest place, most sweetest Krishna. And he's in Vrindavan. But now he wants to know about the creation, about the glories of Krishna. So not only how he's enjoying himself in the one, he wants to know what he's doing for the fallen jivas like us as well. So that's the easy part. Vrindavan is the easy part. Krishna is having fun with the gopas and gopis, but he has not forgotten what he's doing there. He hasn't forgotten his other, the fallible souls as well that that are suffering in this suffering. So he makes this material world for them, so they can at least have something to fulfill their desires. So Shukadeva Goswami did not say that the king should hear about the direct transcendental pastime of the Lord either. The time was very short, and naturally Shukadeva Goswami could have gone directly to the 10th canto to make a shortcut of the whole thing. This is what you would expect. Logic predicts this, as generally done by the professional reciters. This is just talking about Canto 10. But neither the king nor the great speaker of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam jumped up like the organizers of Bhagavatam. Both of them proceeded systematically, so that both future readers and hearers might take lessons from the example of the procedure of reciting Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Those who are under the control of the external energy of the Lord, or in other words, those who are in the material world, must first of all know how the external energy of the Lord is working under the direction of the Supreme Personality, and afterwards one may try to enter into the activities of his internal energy. So we should at least know why we are here. What are we doing? Who's controlling us? Because that's the first thing we want to know. We want to know about ourselves, why, who we are. So the mundaners are mostly worshippers of Durga Devi, the external energy of Krishna, but they do not know that Durga Devi is but the shadow energy of the Lord. So she always like behind him, like a shadow. Behind her, astonishing display of material workings in the direction of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad-Gita. The Brahma Samhita affirms that Durga Shakti is working by the direction of Govinda, and without his sanction, the powerful Durga Shakti cannot move even a blade of grass. Therefore, the neophyte devotee, instead of jumping at once to the platform of transcendental pastimes presented by the internal energy of the Lord, may know how great the Supreme Lord is by inquiring about the process of his creative energy. So this is the other thing. You find out, like we're talking about the frog, Mr. Frog, you can say Krishna is great, but we can only think of greatness from this material world. What do we know about greatness? Oh, somebody broke the 100-meter time, under 10 seconds, or somebody ran the mile under 4 minutes, like that. Somebody scored 3 goals in the World Cup final. That is our impression or our conclusion of greatness. We think, oh, this person is God. He's such a good player, or such a good athlete, such a good actor or a singer. That's our definition of greatness. So because we have no idea what true greatness is, and we find that out from the scriptures. What is actually really true greatness all about? So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, descriptions of the creative energy and the Lord's hand in it are explained, and the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita has warned the neophyte devotees to be seriously on guard against the pitfall of neglecting knowledge about Krishna in regard to how great he is. Only when one knows that Lord Krishna's greatness, can one firmly put one's unflinching faith in him. That's the important thing. When we know how great he is, how compassionate he is, how tolerating he is, then we can put our faith in him. Otherwise, like the common man, even the great leaders of men will mistake Lord Krishna for one of the many demigods, or a historical personality, or a myth only. The transcendental pastime of the Lord, even Davan, or even at Dwarka, are relishable for persons who have already qualified themselves in advanced spiritual techniques, and the common man may be able to attain to such a plane by the gradual process of service and inquiries, as we shall see in the behavior of Maharaj Parikshit. Okay, so this verse, excuse me. So Maharaj Parikshit already knew that Krishna is the source of everything, as we mentioned, but he wanted to know more details. So he already knows Krishna is great, but he wants to know how great. 1,000 cycles yugas is one day of Brahma. It's inconceivable thinking. Krishna's creation is not whimsical. There is so much detail and method in everything, isn't it? I mean, we're not just talking about this universe, we're not just talking about this planet or this universe, we're talking about unlimited universes, we're talking about unlimited Brahmas, we're talking about unlimited Shivas, we're talking about unlimited Indras, all these, it's all unlimited. Because like sooner or later, if this is limited, sooner or later, you get your head around it and understanding, and you think, well, is that it? Now I understand it. But it's not easy, or it's not possible to understand Krishna. Even he can't understand completely his greatness, right? His sweetness, even he can't understand it. So it's unlimited or forever increasing. Let's see how big this. Okay, I think we can stop here. Yeah, and look to hear from yourselves. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Jai. So we'd like to hear from Pundikaksh Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Yeah, today morning we were reading Chaitanya Charitamrita and Japa session. Those verses actually glorify, like Brahma glorifying Krishna about his unlimitedness. So even the Gopas with him are unlimited. Everything is unlimited. And it looks like it's a continuation for us, Prabhuji, these verses. And it's so wonderful. So we say that, like some people say that if you are interested in thriller, you are interested in suspense, you are interested to read about fantasy books, and they say, Puranas, no, everything is there. So actually, instead of reading that many books, you can read Puranas. But these Puranas are having added advantage. It will connect you to the Lord. These are different to those mundane books. Those books just give you some entertainment, but this book gives you entertainment as well as connecting to you to the spiritual Lord, a spirituality as well. So these books are very, very important. On Saturday, we had book distribution, and I met one lady who was following. She said she is following Buddhism, and she had so many books at her home. But she said, I follow everything. I follow everything. Every religion is okay. All are good. But again, she said, but I don't believe in God. I think this is only a nature. Something great is there. Something great is there, but I don't know what it is. But I don't think it is Lord. So I was thinking, like, you have so many books at your home, where you don't have space to have this small chanted "Be Happy" book, but your ultimately the concept you have got is there is no God. So how she's missing, like she is missing to read this kind of important books. That's why we have to follow a qualified spiritual master. When we read scriptures without proper purports, it may actually give you completely wrong understanding. I was reading Canto 8. In Canto 8, no, when Halahal comes, Lord Vishnu, who is Ajita, is running along with all demons and demigods when Halahal came towards Lord Shiva. So if we don't read any purport, it looks like Shiva is the Supreme Lord, and even Vishnu is actually running towards Shiva to seek his help. So it shows that it's as if Shiva is the Supreme Lord. But when you actually read the purports, it Prabhupada clearly explains how Krishna expands using his guna avatar as Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, and how the whole entire cosmic manifestation is managed by Krishna. So if you don't read such kind of purports, don't listen from proper spiritual masters, our knowledge will become imperfect, and that will not clear our ignorance. Otherwise, we will be always in the ignorance, and with wrong conception, you will coming back to this world again and again. And there are so many points. I'll leave it here, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Absolutely right, Prabhu. This is why a lot of people mention that you can worship the universal form if if you don't believe that Krishna is God or there is a personal God, and people worship nature. They can worship the universal form. That's at least start. But slow process. You want to take the lift. Why take the staircase? If you want to worship something, then worship Krishna. That's the ultimate. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, Kiran Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Amazing verses. Parikshit was experiencing a major life quake. Crisis opens up opportunities where previously none existed. Crisis in our lives opens up opportunities where previously none existed. And so what this demonstrates is the urgency of the reality of our lives. We are casual, too casual, very casual. Yamraj can come tomorrow or even in the next 5 minutes. We need to be serious that he could knock on the door with his dogs. They'll come barking. But we have to make that preparation. As Parikshit realized, it's all or nothing. He gave up everything in one foul swoop. And that is the way our work in my life, when I stopped drinking and eating meat, one day that was it. Khalas, khatam, no more. And from then on, I didn't look back, and I've never looked back. I don't know whether weaning is a good way, but the best way is all or nothing. And Parikshit gave the perfect example. I'm going to give up everything in one foul swoop, because he didn't have the luxury of time. None of us have the luxury of time. And so therefore, these scriptures are so powerful that the sannyasis are telling us, look, open your eyes, smell the coffee, because they are living examples of how to live. As grihastas, we have flaws. We have flaws because of our attachments. And we may have followed, or we may be following the 4 regulatory principles, but somebody may say, oh, just one lottery ticket, it's still gambling. However, this is the journey we're on, and God is so merciful. And so we have to become the genuine seeker of the truth. Not just the truth, but the absolute truth. Krishna is the absolute truth. Hearing about Krishna goes straight to the heart. It purifies the heart, and it transforms the hearts, removes the darkness, and takes us to a clearer perspective. Ignorance is dissipated and destroyed, and hence our life, which was full of ignorance, is now transformed into something which is purposeful. And hence these verses are so powerful. But to try and understand Krishna is difficult, because we're just mere mortals. How can somebody have 16,108 wives and live simultaneously with each one with his awe and reverence, and giving them the time and everything in 100% way? Krishna had created this illusion through Brahma in a very meticulous way, but it is an illusion, and we have to rise above the illusion to smell the coffee, because that's what we do in the morning. And hence, we have to realize that we can't jump to Canto 10 straight away. There's a process. And we could be looking at shortcuts, and shortcuts are given to us every day because we have them, and we're looking for quick fixes. But no, the slow process is the most important process to become detached from the illusion of the material world. And Krishna is discharging his duties in this multiverse all the time. We can't even discharge our duties in our one room. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yes. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you. Hina Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much. Hope everyone's well. Yeah, a couple of points from these verses that I liked, that I've pulled out. In verse 5, Parikshit Maharaj talks about how the narration of Hari's activities is gradually destroying the darkness of his ignorance. And I think for me, this is very powerful, because the word gradually, it means the importance of regular, something they have to do this regularly, regular hearing, the reflection, the application of what we're hearing. It has to happen on a regular basis. It's not something you do occasionally. So then it's almost chipping away. I know that, the example is sometimes of a light in a dark room, that removes the ignorance. And then the test of hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is in the purport as well, and you built on this, Prabhu, as well, is that there's a change of heart, there's a change of mindset. Your actions will change as well. It shows that the hearing's working. Essentially, the proof's in the pudding. It's not just mere listening that's going through one ear and out the other. There's a natural transformation that takes place gradually. And And then verse 6, Maharaj Parikshit wanting to know more. You know, he's still very eager to learn, although, as you pointed out, he knows about Krishna's greatness already, but he's still wanting to know more about his energy and how he creates, how he created the world. And it's a nice point where it's noted that Parikshit also acknowledged that the universe is difficult for demigods to understand. So it does kind of make you wonder, you know, it makes one wonder how, you know, like how would the average human brain, get his head round, or her brain around understanding this. And yeah, I was just thinking, you know, we may struggle, and I know we'll come onto those verses soon, but you know, we may struggle to get our head around the details of creation. You know, some of it is so mind blowing. The concept of time, etc. It just, I think for me, it just makes you more humble, but at the same time, it shows you and it reveals the vastness of the Lord's potencies. He's so inconceivable. We can't be expected to completely understand this because our brains are so puny and our experiences are so limited in this human body. But we can try with faith. So yeah, that was it. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mate, thanks so much. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We think Lord Brahma knows everything. He's the creator. But there is a, you know, we can be confident that even Lord Brahma doesn't know everything. So, you know, who are we to think that, you know, well, we should know? Because Lord Brahma, although he knows everything about this universe, he did not know that there are other universes. Otherwise, why would he have said, which, you know, what do you mean, which Brahma? Right? So, Lord Krishna asked, you know, Brahma is here. Tell Lord Krishna, Brahma is here. And then the God comes back and says, Lord says, which Brahma? So, what kind of question is that? Which Brahma? You know, how many Brahmas are there? Now, you're just one with the 4 heads. You're the smallest Brahma. He didn't know that. So if there's more Brahmas, that means there's more universes, etc., etc. There's more creation. So even Brahma doesn't know everything. So, you know, we're fine. You know, we only know as much as, or we will know as much as Krishna wants us to know, and that's fine by us. But main thing is to get out the darkness is by the torchlight of Lord, the spiritual master, which Om Gyanti Vidasya. So, torchlight is very important, because you can be in a dark cave and somebody hands you a map. The map is no good unless you have a torch to look at it, right? You know, we need the light to see the map, to how to get out. So we can, you know, we're in the darkness with a map, but somebody has to give us the, you know, the light to know which way or explain the map at least, which way, you know, how the map works. So very important. Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay. Vijay Prabhu? Oh, sorry, Praveen Mataji. Sorry about that, Prabhu. Praveen Mataji.
That's okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Pranam.
Jai Mataji.
Yes. Yeah, just picking up from Hina Mataji, you know, so we say the prayers in the morning, Nashtaprayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad-Sevayā. So like Mataji was saying, you know, gradually it helps us. So now we understand the importance of reciting this mantra, and we've seen as well, like when we don't read Bhagavatam, if for whatever reason for a few days we do miss it, and in these verses it you know, tells us the importance of hearing Harikatha from elevated devotees with rapt attention and sincerity. Then the ignorance is destroyed, and the only test is like, you know, it doesn't matter how much we hear or how much we can tell again or realizations, but for how much, you know, our heart is clearing, how much we are understanding things, and how much our behavior is changing. So these are all the tests as well. So if we're changing how we treat others and how we see things, and our attachments, if the attachments are decreasing, so this is all then going in the right direction. And the other thing was like Punrikaksh Prabhu said, yes, we're reading about the unlimited energies of the Lord, and also then understanding why so much importance is given. Because I always used to think, Srila Prabhupada is saying, don't jump to 10 to 10, which I never tried to jump because we listened, no, you're not supposed to look at 10 to 10. And now hearing about the vastness of the Lord, it's just amazing, and you understand, how great our Lord is. And then it just gives us more we become more fearless. Yes, our Lord is so great, so why worry? Like my grandson, he's starting a new school today, and yesterday he said, I'm scared. And I just reminded him, I said, Krishna's with you, so why and I just asked him, who's with you? He said, Krishna. So I said, so why are you scared? Krishna's with you. So we just have to remember Krishna's with us. And then it reminded me of Lord Shesh, with countless tongues and unlimited time, he could not come to the end of the glories of the Lord. And it's just amazing. So, and like the ocean as well, and we can compare it to the ocean, because it doesn't matter how much water we take out, or we can't exhaust the ocean. So the Lord is like that. Lord is just, all six opulences there. So yeah, we are just proud, we are with Krishna, Krishna's with us. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madaji. Thank you so much. Yeah. Vijay Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, quite good that the topics of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam can help us to dispel the ignorance. And also I noticed that it's quite a palatable way that it's presented to us. That can you imagine if it was all mathematical, formulas and theorems and so on, and we had to learn that to understand the story. I mean, there is some maths in it, but like if it was all like that, it'd be such a difficult, or quite a, dare I say, boring subject as well to try and understand, like at school when you were learning maths or some topics like that. But this, all we have to do is listen to stories, and the stories from there, we have to learn how to live, how to understand God. And I think it's so wonderful that Maharaj Pariksit, even at his last short time left, was more concerned to give this knowledge for others' benefits, for our benefits. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, he's doing it for us as well. So the future generations understand the greatness of the Lord, and he wants to know, he wants to cherish, the greatness of the Lord. And yeah, it's amazing. Thank you, Prabhuji. Sunita Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone. From these verses today's we read, and from there, I just noticed listening to Bhagavatam is very important, and it's receiving it's an injection of wisdom. That's what it's explained, Prabhupada explained in there. It's like injection always work quicker than the tablets, or taking, treatment is good, explaining in that. And hearing these messages with devotion and devotion experience, the devotee experience is disappearance of ignorance. That's what I just heard from that. And it is very important in saying to understand Krishna's greatness. The more we understand about Krishna's greatness, and more faith we get, and it increases the faith. And it's like Pundrikaksha Prabhuji explained, it's mentioned in reading the purport. Sometimes people saying oh, purport is too long. I can leave the purport. I can just read that. Then you won't understand fully. Prabhupada put too much time in that, making these big purports so we can understand. We can read. We shouldn't be leaving any words from there. We should read word by word. That's what I understand from there. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, absolutely, Mother. Yeah, so everything's relevant. Everything Maharaj Pariksit is asking is relevant. Everything that's in the scriptures is relevant, and yeah, we should definitely try to understand it, read it, understand it. Thank you. Okay, so I think we are now on Ajay Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Well, Krishna Maharaj shows the method to advance in our own devotional service. We, as spoken before by previous devotees, importance of relevant questions is what matters. If you ask silly questions, and someone argues no Krishna silly questions, but if you have actually taken time to read, got to the point now where you're actually reading Bhagavatam, you're actually understood some things in terms of your own position, your position relative to Krishna, how you can, what the importance is there to advancing devotional service, then you should be making the effort to ask questions how you can serve Krishna, as opposed to sometimes people get confused, which maybe I can understand why that's questioned there. But sometimes they start questioning things that they already know for the sake of questioning, because they're looking for an excuse to not actually ask the hard questions. So they go back to just the very basic questions, like, I'm a spirit soul and what's it all about, as opposed to asking, how can I please Krishna? How can I work better with devotees? What can I do to improve aspects of my devotional service? That's why somebody like Parikshit Maharaj is a great example, because there's no let up in terms of, granted, yeah, he's had limited time, but there's no let up in terms of asking important questions that are helpful not only to him but anybody who reads this. And that's what we can try to do in our own devotional service. We can try to not only act but help others in terms of behaving, in terms of supporting others in a way that would help them and help ourselves, rather than allowing our emotions to get the best of us. Maybe just if you can keep the big goal in mind, that is to please Krishna. Then even if there are arguments or there are issues, then you can work a solution, as opposed to things getting out of hand and you find that you don't want to deal with certain people anymore because you find them difficult. And they might be difficult because their personalities as such, it might not necessarily mesh with yours. But if you as the old, as in simple method that keep Krishna center, if that always is there, that's the basic foundation of things. Then everything you can find some sort of solution. Not just be best friends, but if you can just be civil to each other, then that's what makes Krishna happy. Because Krishna wants you to, we are all his children as such. So if we can't get along with each other, then that doesn't please Krishna. So we have to that should be like a Parikshit Maharaj. We have to actually actively try to please Krishna. We have to help other devotees, help those that haven't taken the devotional path, and then we can progress together. That's what Krishna wants. Haribol.
Haribol. Srila Prabhupada says, they asked Srila Prabhupada, his disciples, how can we please you? He says, you can please me by getting on with each other, tolerating each other. That you can please the spiritual master that way. And with Krishna, as I was saying, that the super soul, as Mataji mentioned as well, the super soul in the heart, when you know that there's super soul in the heart, which we know from the scriptures, it has two effects. One is it gives you satisfaction that Krishna is with me, no matter what happens and how great he is, and he will protect me, or whatever happens, that will be his desire and nobody else's desire, because without him a blade of grass cannot move, as we read earlier. So it's Krishna's desire, so satisfied by whatever Krishna decides for me will be the right decision. And secondly, if I have Paramatma in the heart, then other people also have Paramatma in the heart. So whatever we do with respect, right? We speak to people with respect. We want to keep a distance from them because we cannot get on. Then you do that you keep a respectful distance. You do that respectfully. You want to explain something, you do that with respect. So you want to disagree with somebody, you agree with them by respectfully. So we can still show, we might not get on with people, we can still be civil and we can be respectful as well. So yeah, very important. Thank you, Prabhu. Radharani.
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to all of you. Yes, in these verses as well, Krishna is again telling us that how we should lead our lives prime example here is Parikshit Maharaj, the hero of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. He is the one who brought us Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And then we read about the primary creation here, Nityam Nityanam Chetasam. Then secondary, which is our material world, Devi Dham. Devi Durga is the supervisor here. And then there's the unconditioned, marginal, liberated entities. So, you know, so many levels we are studying at the same time when we're going through these verses. And I was thinking that Srila Prabhupada has written actually PhD on each verse. How many books and how many shastras he used to consult to write one purport. You know, when we go to different temples and we see Srila Prabhupada sitting there, especially in the manner we have seen, that's the closest to us. On the table, there's so many books lying next to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada is, you know, he used to hardly sleep. I think he was constantly meditating on Krishna and Krishna Katha, and that's why these purports are so potent. So much condensed knowledge is in there. And people do one PhD, or at the most they might do two, or they might do a postdoctoral. But look at Srila Prabhupada. He did multi PhDs for writing one Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think it would be, we would be so much interested in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It would be like, you know, something which we just open once in a while, or just do pranams to it from the distance, and that's it. So we cannot give enough gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. And today is also Rupa Goswami's disappearance day. Acharya told me this morning when he was looking at the calendar, and such an important day, this Gauridas Pandit's also disappearance day. And this week it's the Adi Guru's appearance day. Balaram Jayanti is coming, and then it's a wonderful time for us Vaishnavas. Starting from yesterday was Lalita Devi's birthday as well, appearance day, and how much they were among the three principal gopis with Srimati Radharani and Vishakha Devi. So, you know, the big festival time is already started, as we know, being Hindus, that after this, there's festivals throughout the year. And I'm looking forward to, you know, going through more verses with all of you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you all. And so Wednesday, we hope to have the review, the overview of chapter 3. So yeah, let's hope that manifests, and I look forward to that. So we won't have a session in the morning, and we can just do that in the evening. So please do join. And we hear from Tirubhangananda Prabhu, disciple of Srila Prabhupada, on Wednesday evening. Thank you so much. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaur Prem Bande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.